And so as far as starting Beauty Beyond the Scars, it's crazy because I never knew that I would have had to start a Beauty Beyond the Scars. But it all stemmed from my story, my life. I am a domestic violence survivor. And mine's a little different from a lot of people because mine started at the age of 16.
Before we get started with Spark the Conversation on today, let me do a disclaimer for this episode. This episode may be sensitive for those who are victims or survivors of domestic violence. Please use discretion. Information on resources will be available at the conclusion of this episode. So, welcome back to Spark the Conversation for the 2026 year. As you can see, I'm in a different atmosphere because the rain just would not let us be great on today. It's storming here. But it's okay though. We are virtual today with my first guest, Miss Ponya Dodson. Ponya is the owner of the nonprofit Beauty Beyond the Scars. As a domestic violence survivor, Ponya now helps other survivors, victims, and families through her nonprofit Beauty Beyond the Scars. So let's hear Ponya's story today. So for the new year, I have added some new segments to the show, so I hope that you like it. So the first segment that we'll get into is called the Spark Inside, and that's about like why did you start what your business or nonprofit. So that's how we'll kind of get into each guest story. So the Spark Inside, Panya, why did you create and start Beauty Beyond the Scars?
First and foremost, I want to say thank you for allowing me to be on your podcast. I am so honored. I'm so grateful. I've known you for years, but to see you walk in your element, I absolutely love it, right? And so as far as starting Beauty Beyond the Scars, it's crazy because I never knew that I would have had to start a Beauty Beyond the Scars. But it all stemmed from my story, my life. I am a domestic violence survivor. And mine's a little different from a lot of people because mine started at the age of 16. I was in school. I was in high school, a time when you're supposed to be, learning yourself, having fun, enjoying your friends, your families, thinking about what your future's going to be. I was too busy covering up bruises. And so that's what sparked Beauty Beyond the Scars because as I went through those things, of course, when you're going through, you don't know why you're going through. That was my question so much. Why? But God began to reveal, He began to show me why I went through what I went through. And at that time, it never was about me. It was about being able to help someone else that was going through the same situation.
Beautiful. So, how was the journey getting your Beauty Beyond the Scars off the ground by being so close to home to your story?
For me, because before we became a nonprofit in 2018, but we were doing the work long before because I've been sharing my story for years, right? And that was part of my healing. When I was keeping it to myself, I wasn't being healed. I was still going through the victim. I was still the victim instead of the victor, right? So
Yeah.
he still had power over me. So when I began to start sharing my story, it was like, okay, people were like, yeah, you need to do this more. We were already talking to other people. People were relating to what I had gone through. And so we said, okay, let's make it official. And that's what sparked, the journey of starting Beauty Beyond the Scars. And it wasn't an easy process. It wasn't because when you're going through this, of course, you start to relive things you've gone through the more you
Yeah.
talk about it. But the
Yeah.
more you talk about it, the more it helps you as a whole.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Panya. Going back to how, if you don't mind sharing, how
Mhm.
were without you don't have to tell too much detail because I don't
Yeah.
want to get that deep. But how were you able to get out of that situation at such a young age?
My story had quite a bit of a turn because, as
Okay.
stated, my story started at 16, right? And it was during a time that I didn't know who and whose I was at that time because I had been dealing with bullying since elementary school. So that was a root factor there, right? So I didn't think I was beautiful. I didn't think I was pretty. I didn't like who I was, right? And so that's why it was so easy for this person to come in and take full control because I was hearing the things that I thought I needed to hear from the wrong source, right? And so that's why it was an open gate for that. And then as far as the journey of going through, I married my abuser.
Mm.
I got married at the age of 18. I was pregnant with my son. I got pregnant in high school. My ex was my first everything, right? So I ended up pregnant. I'm a church girl. So what do? You have to make it right. So we got married and we were married for a couple of years and it didn't get better, it got worse, right? But, we still fought, we went through all the forms of domestic violence because it's not just physical, there's various forms. And we went through all of that, but what my determining factor was to get out was my son, because it began to turn to me from our last argument. It turned from me almost to my son where he wouldn't allow me to get to him. And I was like, you know what? That's a non negotiable. It's not about me. I got to get out of this situation. So that was my turning point.
Thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
I'm sure a lot of women, um, can relate to your story, and just hearing your story will maybe help them, get out of a situation. And your nonprofit too. I know you help a lot of families, and we'll get into that
Mhm.
as we get closer into the show. But let me ask you, why the name Beauty Beyond the Scars?
Because when you're going through the situation or going through domestic violence, whether you're male or female, because it happens with men as well, you don't feel beautiful. You don't feel that way. You don't see yourself as that. You see yourself as worth less, right? So when God gave me the name, it was like an aha moment. I was in my room and I was like, I knew we were starting the nonprofit, but I didn't have a name. And I heard Beauty Beyond the Scars. And he began to show me so many things because no matter what scars you may be wearing, you're still beautiful. It doesn't matter what you've gone through, you are still beautiful. So it's stuck. And ever since then, we've been running with it.
I love the name Beauty Beyond the Scars. I told you when we met, I've been knowing Ponya for a long time since I was a little girl. And so when I was starting to think about guests for this upcoming year, I was like, Ponya, because I mean, like I told you by my show, the direction I was going, and I
Mhm.
was like, she would be great because I know, like I said, a lot of, like you said, not only women, men too, but a lot of people who are in domestic violence situations
Yeah.
are looking for somebody to talk to, somebody they can relate to, someone that could help them, and they just don't know where to start. And I think what your nonprofit is doing, because you are so close to it as well, you're able to relate to them. You understanding what they're going through, and you know what help they need because you seeked out that help too. And so, or the help that you wanted to have, you
Mhm.
now partly poured that into your nonprofit. So let's get into like what programs and resources does Beauty Beyond the Scars offer to those survivors, victims, and families?
Right. We get so many different calls, not just here within our city here, but people that are away trying to run away or get away, right? So with that being said, we meet the person where they are. We are like the middleman for a lot when it comes. Some people depends on what they need. Some people are needing counseling. We have people in place for that. I am also a life coach, right? We have some people that need somewhere to stay. We connect them to that. They may need furniture. They may need meals. It all depends because all situations are different. They need to talk to someone in the police force, right? To find out what they can do to get an actual escape route from where they are. So all cases are different. And so we take each case by case, to find out what the need is of that person, that family. Sometimes it's just kids need clothes, right? Because families are coming trying to start over. When you've been in a domestic violence situation for so long and you make that choice to walk away, it's starting all over, right? So when you're having to start all over and knowing you have some resources of people there that genuinely have your back, it makes you feel even better going through.
Let me ask you this. Those who come to you that are
Mhm.
victims of domestic violence, what is the I don't wanna say the biggest hurdle, but what have you seen that like a reoccurring when they're coming for help? What have you seen that maybe be their biggest hurdle to get out of that situation?
Finances.
Mm.
Finances. And that's the reason why a lot of people stay, because that's their comfort. What am I going to do? I'm going to have to start all over again. Can I start all over again? Can I do this by myself? Right. So that's one of the biggest hurdles that we deal with that, because people will go back. and they'll go back for that same situation, right? And so one of the things we try to impart, and then one thing about it, you have to have, we don't tell anyone to leave a situation. I tell people that all the time. We never tell you, leave your marriage, leave your boyfriend. No, 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 no. We're not going to, it's a choice. Because when I was going through, people were telling me things, I heard things, but guess what? It seemed like it pushed me closer to that person, right? So it's a choice. But when you get sick and tired, of being sick and tired and you make that decision to say, okay, this is my exodus, I'm done, I'm tired, you'll leave. But what we do is in the process of you making that decision, we just talk to you about your worth. We let you know that you're worth more, right? We let you know that certain things you don't have to deal with. I don't tell you to leave, but I let you know that you're more than that, right? And then we let them know that this is whatever your steps are that you need on this journey. We're going to help you and help you get to the resources. If we don't have them in house, we're going to help you find the resources for you to get to that next level.
That's beautiful because, like you said, you pour into them their worth.
Mhm,
And that's probably something that they not probably something, they need to hear that
mhm,
because they're trying to figure out, well, am I worthy? And by you pouring those words of encouragement to them and that you are worthy, that goes a long way. And I'm sure that you've probably seen a lot of situations turn around from that by just pouring into those words of encouragement to
yeah.
them and letting them know that they're worthy. Which brings me to your spark, their light, which is my other new segment. What moment or when did you know that Beauty Beyond the Scars was making an impact?
Wow, how many moments, right? When I finally, well, I guess going back to the beginning stages, because I get so many calls and things all the time. It was a walk. We do a walk yearly, right? And it was after the walk. And someone just came up to me and they were like, thank you for doing this for us because we feel so unheard. And I get it. I get it because when I was going through, that's how I felt. And just those words, it was like, I have to go harder. I have to continue to keep the message out there. But they say, put your foot on their neck. I gotta do it to let people know enough is enough. And I won't stop. I won't stop because of words such as that. To somebody else, that may be something so small, but that made us see that we are doing something. We are making an impact. We're being impactful. People are being able to see that they're not the only ones. You're not the only one that's gone through this. And we can together, we can make a change.
You're right, 'cause I know we're talking about domestic violence right now, and
Mhm.
you're a nonprofit, but in a lot of situations, people often feel like they are alone. And by you saying, like, you're not alone, and, like, even
Right.
their walk, it's the little things. I tell people all the time, it's the little things that make the biggest impact. And by you having that walk and that person just come up and say thank you, you were like, "Wow, I thought the other things the grander things would have made a bigger impact," but it's just those small things that make people, like you
Mhm.
said, feel heard, feel seen, and you're able to relate to them. And it when you're close to a situation, it's more relatable. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I've been there. I understand. They can see sometimes people can see, okay, Miss Ponya did it. I can do it. But also letting them know that you're not me. So my situation is different from yours. Your situation is different from mine. But I came out. Look what God brought me through. And you can do the same thing.
Exactly.
So let me ask you this. So you started in 2018. How many survivors and victims and families have you helped since you started in 2018?
Oh my God. We have been able to help about 600 people.
Wow,
And that's amazing because
that's
when I
amazing.
think about, yes, when I think about and I see the numbers, I'm like, oh my God. And it's good and bad. Tell you why it's good and bad. It's good that we're able to be able assistance to that many people, you know what I mean, throughout the years, but it's bad because it's that many people. So it's like, okay, God, I thank you for giving us this. I thank you for trusting in us to do it. But it's so many people that's going through, and it's so many people that need help, and it's even more. So that's the thing.
Let me ask you this. So the survivors, have any of them like come and volunteered, started working for you with the nonprofit, become mentors to those that are victims or try to get out of situation? How have the survivors maybe came back to Beauty Beyond the Scars after getting through and getting the help that you gave them?
Yes, we do. We love volunteers with Beauty Beyond the Scars. I put that out all the time, but it's even more of I guess you say joy when it is a survivor. And most of our organization has gone through domestic violence. So, and have a story, yeah, and have it's some form, like I said, not maybe not physical, but the mental, but the emotional, some form, right? And we have events, like I said, we have events all throughout the year that we have catered toward, and our speakers at our events also are survivors of domestic violence, right? So it's like that's what it's about. It's about us. That Beauty Beyond the Scars is about us. We do other things as well, but at the end of the day, any event that we have an event pretty much full of survivors.
Tell me about some of your events. Or tell us about some of your events.
Yes, yes. Some of the events that we put on annually, we have our walk, of course. Our walk is held every October because that's the month, domestic violence awareness. Walk this year we're gonna be on it's gonna be on October the 3rd, which I'm excited about that. This will be our 7th year walking. This is our
Wow.
7th year walking for purpose, life, and change. So, yes, this is our 7th year, and it's so amazing because people are wanting it to come to their cities and states now. I'm like, "Wow." Right? So that's amazing to us. We also have a brunch/conference, that's called Purpose Through My Pain. I absolutely, absolutely love it. It'll be in September, and, it's amazing because we have speakers that have gone through domestic violence and they come and they pour into the women. They pour
Mm,
into them. Men are invited as well, but the women just dominate, right? The women come out because some men feel like it's not manly because they've gone through. No, you don't go through it either. It's okay, but it's not
yeah.
okay for them to put their hands on you or even mentally deal with you either. But we
Yeah.
have that. We have our butterflies and bravery event. That's what we celebrate, right? We have like a night of fun where we have comedians come out. We have a musical guest out there. We had it's just a lot of fun. We want to pour into our community to let people know, listen, I got you. This is for us, right? And to bring awareness at the same time because you're going to get a message. You're going to get a message. We're on social media all the time. We're going out. We're speaking at churches. We're speaking at different things, different events and everything. So the goal of everything that we're doing is to get the information out, to let people know what domestic violence is and what you shouldn't put up with, right? And then our biggest goal is to get into the schools even more. So that's what we're working on right now.
And you said the schools, and but you have those events. Have have you run into any younger victims that may have been like you?
Yes, yes, yes,
Mm.
yes. I had to do the last event. Well, not the last, but couple events I back. I had to do an event for girls.
Mm.
And I love going to the school and speaking to the younger people because my goal is to stop them from dealing with what I went with, right? But they were already going through it. I was 16. These were 12 and 13, 14-year olds. Yeah, so it's not people look at my story like, "Girl, you were 16. Oh my god." No, 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 it's younger now. It's so much and they're dealing with so much more because there's so much out there now for this generation. Like, they got this thing called choking now. I'm like, "What the world?" You know? Yes. So it's like so much, and so with that, that's why I'm very adamant to get into the schools even more because I know it's there. Because they're seeing so much on social media, the music that they're listening to, and they think it's okay and what they're dealing with in their household because some of them are seeing the abuse. My ex, that's what happened with him. His father was abusive. He saw that to his mom. He thought that was love, right? Yeah,
Wow,
so that's the biggest thing now that I really want to do. I want to be more impactful in the younger generation.
that's beautiful. Well, Panya, it sounds like you doing it. You said you've helped over 600 survivors, victims, and families. That's a lot. From 2018 to now, that is a lot. So you're doing it. like I said, I'm pretty sure those survivors and victims and families, they are happy that you are supporting them because, like I said, a lot of them don't know where to start. And by you
Mm,
having this nonprofit, you're able to help them at least get a start to how they can make it out of a situation they no longer want to be in. Um, whew, this was great. This was a great episode. Before we get out of here, do you have any final words?
I would just like to say if you're watching this and you're in a situation right now of maybe what I've gone through or other people that you may have known been in a domestic violence situation, get out. I'm gonna say that on here because it doesn't get better. For me, it didn't get better, it got worse, right? And I just want you to understand and know your worth, as talk about all the time, because sometimes we don't. We lose it. We get lost in what we're dealing with because of what we're hearing and what we're experiencing. Because if we felt truly that we were beautiful, we wouldn't deal with it, right? So I want you to know this is me telling you, you are beautiful. You are loved, and there is life after domestic violence. I can tell you that I'm living it right now. There is life after domestic violence. There is love after domestic violence. I've been married now for 26 years. Amazing, right? And he helped to love me through my pain. He showed me. So he showed me that that wasn't love. Mm-mm. So if you're in this and you need the help, get the help that you need, whether it's therapy, whether it's going to church, whether it's talking to your pastor, just talking to someone, because talking helps. Don't keep it bottled on the inside of you. It makes it worse. Let it out. And that's why we're here. Beauty Beyond the Scars. We are here if you just need a listening ear. But get the help that you need. And know that no matter what scars you may be wearing, you are still beautiful.
Whew, that's beautiful. I don't have nothing else to say after that, but I do have to close this out though. But that was beautiful, Panya. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much for
Thank
coming
you.
on Spark the
Thank you.
Conversation. I really appreciate you. You are my first guest. Panya is also my first virtual guest, so she helped me test out this software system too. So let's hope all goes well. I think all will go well. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Spark the Conversation. If you follow me on social, I announced that I'll be moving to a new posting schedule, which is a monthly schedule now. Cause, having a podcast is no joke, y'all. Listen. So I've been moving to a monthly posting schedule this year. With that being said, if you don't follow me already, follow me on Instagram at spark_the combo. And you can also follow me on Facebook at Spark the Conversation. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. While you're doing it, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That way you don't miss out on any episodes that I have for this upcoming year. You can also listen to me on YouTube Music as well. Panya, go ahead and drop Beauty Beyond the Scars socials as well.
Most definitely, definitely go on our website. Listen, beautybeyondthescars.org. Go on there, guys, and just send us a message. If you know somebody in a situation, say, hey, I saw you on the podcast. Say something. Tell me, hey, right? You can find us on Facebook, same exact thing. Beauty Beyond the Scars. We are there. We are loud. We are proud, and we're here for you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Panya. I will be back, y'all, with my next guest in April. All right, we're signing off.